excited to play more.
What's up, fanboys and fangirls?
Mic check. Okay.
Welcome back. Yeah, Luke, your mic is incredibly far away from you.
That might be a good thing though.
Tonight it might be a good thing. We have a lot to talk about tonight. I'm excited. I'm hyped. Let's just jump right in. Well, but first off, welcome back to another episode of the Fanboy Show. I'm Brett. This is Tyler. That's Luke.
I'm
Whoa.
Tyler. I'm waving aggressively.
I'm waving non-aggressively.
Subtly. Luke's less of a wave and more of a gimp.
Hey.
Gimpy. I don't know what that is.
What'd you call
Anyways. Probably something offensive, and I am terribly sorry.
Are you though?
Not to Luke.
Yeah.
Before we jump into our, reviews and news stories tonight, we are gonna talk about some new trailers. It's no coincidence that after we talked about, we kind of mocked the last and best SAG strike deal. We were like, there's no way that this is like the studio's last best offer. There you go. They accepted it.
Was it like the next day?
Yeah.
Woke up in the morning and it was like, it's over. It's fine.
Kevin Bacon was posting his dance from Footloose on Instagram. It was getting rowdy. It was great.
So in honor of that, all the studios then decided to push out just a crap ton of trailers. I think it was one of those things where it's like, okay, we can talk about things. Mm-hmm. We can make it happen. So
I think the coolest thing too, though, to add on to
Yeah.
that, is like seeing all the actors getting to post about the stuff they've been doing. Or like that they've done and has since come out during the strike. Like it was really cool to see them. Like Raul Coley posted a lot about Follow the House of Usher.
Yeah. Some of the Star Wars from the Ahsoka show. I almost said new season of Mandalorian. I was like, that's not right.
How dare you?
How dare I?
Yeah, it's just cool to get to see those people talk about their work and be excited about it again.
Yep.
And plus, again, we got a Kevin Bacon Footloose dance, which was awesome.
And it looks like the deal was. I mean, we can kind of skip it in news if we want to just talk about it now. But like the deal for SAG looks pretty good. I think their concerns against AI. I was reading something today that looked pretty comprehensive and well thought out and fair for the most part. It's a new evolving technology, right? Mm-hmm. And how you use that, how companies use that, need to be at least have some oversight, if not regulation. So I'm glad that SAG was able to get some stuff in writing to kind of lead the charge in terms of how AI is being used. I guess the writers did their own version of that as well, but that's cool. We're super excited, and it means we get to talk about 20 new, not quite 20, but like 15 new trailers.
Yeah. Well, I think Netflix Geeked was already scheduled.
Was it scheduled anyways?
But
it just happened to.
It's kind of nice at least that like an actor can be like, hey, I made this movie with Netflix. It comes out next year.
Yeah. Yep. Or
I'm cast and we're going to make this thing.
Right.
Because honestly, I don't know how far along a lot of these things are.
You never know.
A lot of them were just like, hey, Netflix is doing this.
Yeah. Do you want to hit the Netflix ones first?
I'll do the Netflix ones first, and I'll save the biggest ones for the end.
Okay.
And that'll just give us a nice, smooth transition into non-Netflix movies.
That will eventually be on Netflix.
You're not wrong. So this was a quick little animated trailer. Ultraman Rising. You guys ever watched any Ultraman stuff?
I've not watched
it. I've watched I watched the trailer. I haven't watched any other Ultraman things. This trailer had me intrigued, and then by the end of it, I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, I like the animation style.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I'll watch it.
It's funny because like I started this one, and then after a bit, I just turned it off. I was like, probably not.
Next, this was just an announcement teaser, but it's always nice to hear about things that you love, and it's Arcane Season 2.
Yep.
It's just Jinx walking on the bridge.
Could have used more, but that's okay.
But coming out November 2024. So only a year away, everybody.
So what is that between seasons?
2 years?
Didn't it come out like 2020?
3 years? I could
Tyler's on it.
It's too long.
2021.
Oh, wow, really? Feels like forever ago.
So 2 years. It'll be 3 years when it releases.
Yeah, that's crazy.
November of 2021.
It's an impressive animation style and whatnot, but like, they really just have nothing when, I mean, maybe they didn't. Maybe they didn't have anything planned after season 1. Like, they just weren't sure if it would be a hit, and they basically had to, kind of start from scratch on season 2. It just feels like you'd have to.
And then everybody.
You'd be thinking about, like, at least having something cooking, right?
Have a plan,
Yeah.
Especially with something that has a fan base like a League of Legends does.
Yes.
Remember when we were getting Game of Thrones seasons every year? How did that ever happen?
It's weird, too.
Well, is that why they got bad?
No, this was before they got bad.
Oh.
This was the good stuff.
It's like when you think about...
This was like seasons 2 through 5.
Like League of Legends and how big their fan base is. Like, you think of all the other IPs that Riot is putting... Or not IPs, but League of Legends projects that Riot is putting out right now.
Sure.
They've put out like 7 games, a TV show. They got their music thing that they're doing with Spotify. Like, they have so much happening.
And depending on how much they want to like have their kind of fingers in the, it's not like they're turning this over to a house and they've licensed out the IP. This is very much their baby, and they're seeing it through all the way. Just the baby.
We aren't forgetting how long it takes, JT. It just feels like way longer than it should be. But then again, Invincible's taken...
COVID was just a dimension in time that seems like it lasted forever, but also felt like no time at all.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And how long did it take Invincible? 2 years?
Maybe. Yeah. Invincible was 2 years.
And I don't think that's... All animation's complex, but I don't think that's nearly as complex as what Arcane is, I would assume.
No. I don't know.
Animation's a weird place to be.
Animation's a weird place to be because they're doing more than ever with it, but at the same time, there are immense technological leaps that make it easier than ever to do things. Mm-hmm. It's easier, but I think they're doing more things in more complex ways.
I think you have to, right?
Yeah. You have to evolve, right? Like it's not like, I mean, it is in some ways. There are parallels between live action and production and animation, but no, it's more of like by year 3, how much of your audience remains is my worry. It's more of a worry than anything else. It's not like a knock on the animation team. Like, how can they be this slow? It's more of a, outside of your hardcore Riot fans, League of Legends fans, is that audience still there? I get frustrated when I cannot remember what happened last season in a thing. And we're talking about a 3-year gap between seasons 1 and 2. I won't remember, and I don't have the time to rewatch, so they better be a dang good recap video at the beginning.
Oh, I'm sure. They'll have something cooked up. They have to. All right, what's next?
Masters of the Universe Revolution, the animated show.
Masters of the Universe was great.
Yeah, great show.
Great show, so I'm excited
for more of it.
Yeah, be here
I
for
thought
more
it was. I thought it was done too.
I did too.
I kind of did
so
too.
I'm glad we're getting
more. I think
more.
you had sent us that trailer, and I was like,
yeah, I didn't
know that was happening.
It's like, oh, there's more of this?
Because it was Revelation and then Revelation Part 2, and this is Revolution.
Mm-hmm.
Bringing it back.
Keeping it going. There's a new baddie in town.
And it's Skeletor. No.
Yeah.
With a different arm. Robot Skeletor. I don't know.
Skeletor's got to be one of the good guys this time. Somehow.
He was in
I know, he was.
Season.
Exactly.
And then he's like, no, we're bad again.
Actually bad. Actually
and then,
good.
what was the
He'll flip-flop at least
the
2
chick's
more
name?
times.
She's like, I'm actually good, but now I'm bad.
I'm bad.
This was just another announcement. Teasers. Terminator, the anime series. I think this is a great idea. But I'm also at the point in my life now where I recognize anything can be an anime. So if something is announced and it's an anime, I'm like 100% on board. I'm very excited for this.
All right, nice.
Give me a nice little poing when somebody shoots a big old laser and then goes back in time. Next thing, Dead Boy Detectives.
Looks good.
This is we're ghost boys and we solve murders, and we're also in the Sandman.
I love
universe.
Sandman, and
Awesome show,
freaking awesome show. And I was I'm always a little skeptical of spinoffs, but like this trailer looks pretty good.
Remember when they were like, should we make Sandman season 2? And everybody was like super worried.
Right.
There's a spinoff for it too.
They were already cooking a spinoff.
Yeah. Well, so Max made this and then gave it to Netflix. Sold it to Netflix.
Oh, really? I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Moves to Netflix from Max.
They be selling all kinds of things. The next thing is Damsel, aka Millie Bobby Brown Ain't Need No Man, and is maybe fighting a dragon. This looks like a Netflix movie.
It does, doesn't it? It's
if I had to describe a Netflix movie, what would you describe? This.
It's like that the new Snow White movies trying to be done on a even smaller budget with less well-known actors. Millie Bobby Brown obviously is.
Robin Wright's in there too.
Right. No. Oh yeah.
She'll probably be in it.
But
for like
there's
5
not
minutes.
like an ensemble, right? There's not like
how much they could afford of her.
This is not like Dungeons and Dragons where it's a like here's an ensemble cast that you're gonna grow in love, and even if you don't love Chris Pratt, maybe you'll fall in love with this character over here, or they have that chemistry. I don't see anyone in this film that I'm like that's the like who's gonna have chemistry with each other to make this fun. It just looks like a
that's everybody's favorite character from Stranger Things.
Shot in a cave. This is just it's in a dark cave. Like that could just be one scene in the movie, but yeah. Over in the chat real quick, jumping in. Baroque and Roller said, "Remember when you get made fun of you'd get made fun in middle school for watching anime?" No, because I didn't watch anime in middle school.
I don't think I was even allowed to.
It was probably too
violent.
Anime is often too violent
and when we were
too sexual.
When we were in middle school, it was mainly like Pokemon for kids,
and
Dragon Ball Z for older kids.
Yeah,
I watched Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, I don't think we ever.
I don't think I was allowed to watch Power Rangers even. So like,
wow.
But I also didn't really want to. I thought Power Rangers was kind of dumb.
Yeah,
so it's all good. Me and my mom were like on the same page with that one.
I had a very good friend who loved the what's the one that everyone what's the most famous Dragon Ball Z.
Good job.
Yep. And I'd go over and I'd watch it and I was like, I don't get it.
You didn't like the
Yeah, that is that's it, but no, I never I don't think I ever made Jordan, if I ever made fun of you, I apologize. He doesn't watch the podcast. Anyways, Luke, what's next?
And another animated show. This really wasn't a trailer, more of a featurette. Devil May Cry animated show. It's being made by Adi Shankar.
I actually liked this little
I thought it was super cool, yeah.
I was like, this is awesome.
And it's also the animation is being done by Studio Mir, who I'm a huge fan of. They did Voltron, so
yeah,
like I'm gonna check it out no matter what.
Sorry, I'm gonna go back.
Okay.
What's up with the spray paint font for Damsel? It's like a
oh yeah, I don't know. I don't feel like it fits
decision for the title card for what kind of movie this is.
Yeah.
Is it set in a back alley and we just don't realize it yet? Or
it's all in their heads. They had to spray paint stuff on cardboard boxes, and this is what they're playing.
This is actually a sequel to Sucker Punch.
Oh my gosh. No comment.
I didn't see Zack Snyder's name on it, so it can't be that.
We'll get to that later.
Okay, keep going.
Should I leave the hood on?
The Adi Shankar thing was cool.
Yeah, I'm super excited for this.
I think that'll be fun.
I feel like Devil May Cry is kind of up his alley too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean the game is an anime for sure. Like it's the perfect medium. What's next?
You good there, sir?
I feel like I look like a grape.
Maybe a little bit.
A ripe grape. Extra juicy. Scott Pilgrim takes off.
I liked this trailer. This was cute. This was fun. I like Scott Pilgrim, and this was just like I think we talked about it a while ago. I don't know exactly who this is for, but it's intriguing to me.
I think it's for the people that watch the Scott Pilgrim movie.
Probably. But like it feels but it feels like it's for like maybe it's the Scott Pilgrim audience who now might have kids or because it does feel like it's the animation style almost feels like it's geared towards a younger audience. Because it's not adult. It doesn't feel like adult anime.
I feel like the Scott Pilgrim movie, the Edgar Wright movie, was like, hey, were you a fan of Scott Pilgrim book, novel, graphic novel?
Yeah.
We got a movie for you. And like this is like, did you like that movie?
Well, we got
all the actors back. Everybody's back. But yeah, I've never watched anything Scott Pilgrim, read anything Scott Pilgrim. I did like this trailer. Maybe I will check it out. But yeah, we'll see. Last Netflix geek thing that isn't, I guess, the two big things. Code 8 Part 2. I know me and Tyler are
I'm super pumped for this. This is awesome. Yeah. I'm so happy this is happening.
Underrated gem, I'd say. Yep. Little hidden gem on Netflix would be Code 8.
If you've not seen it, you should watch it. It'll surprise you. And it was a Kickstarter movie, which is also really cool.
Yeah. If you like Chronicle,
yep.
I'd say check it out. It's a super, super low budget indie superhero movie.
Yep.
Yeah, I've not really seen the original, but the trailer for this looks good.
Yeah, they had talked about potentially doing like a show set in the same world too. I don't know if that. I wonder if it'll hinge on how well this does. But
could be.
Yeah, you should watch it.
I know. Yeah.
It's good. Like if you're, I'd also say if you were a fan of like the Arrowverse days, like you get to see a lot like those actors back, and it's cool.
It's the Amell cousins.
Yep.
Who are both way better actors than the CW shows would lead you to believe.
Dude, Robbie Amell was freaking great in the first movie.
Yeah, he's good.
not that Steven.
He's really good in Upload on Amazon too.
Yeah,
he's super funny.
Yeah,
in that.
All right, the two big ones. Should I start the show or the movie first?
Do the show first.
Show.
Okay, Avatar: The Last Airbender.
This looks good.
This looks awesome.
This looks great.
Good. I was
Faith
amazed.
Restored.
Yeah, and like I've watched enough of the show, obviously not all of it, but enough of the show to like, there's the burned down forest, and I'm like, ooh, I know what that is. I know what episode that's from. Like, there's these little moments. Of like, it's like, ooh, they do have the giant slide in the city. I can't wait to see what that looks like. Like, you see these little things that you remember seeing in the animated show, and it's just, I'm super pumped.
It got me super excited, and honestly, I know they're not the same thing. But after watching One Piece, I feel like I can trust Netflix with this. One Piece was freaking awesome.
They're very much investing into the live action anime properties. Like they have a Yu Yu Hakusho thing too, as well, I think.
I think they're
really leaning in.
I'm wondering how much of it is out of like business necessity, just with the fact that so many of the other streamers are trying to keep a hold of their own IP. Now, like, ironically enough, at the same time, many of the DC or Marvel or DC / Warner Brothers IP properties are now on Netflix currently. Like, they've signed a deal, whatever. But yeah, it seems like a smart move for them to be like, okay, there is clearly an audience here. If we can make it a little more, like, we can make it live action and make it a little more a broader appeal, that can be our thing, that we're not necessarily, having to try and, pay Warner Brothers $10 million. And it's not that much, but, like $1 million for the Justice League or whatever.
Yeah, and I think, too, like, part of why we're seeing this improvement in their anime live action stuff is just, like, Cowboy Bebop was a huge letdown for them, and they've not been afraid to, like that shot. I was like, yep, I can't wait to see that.
Omashu.
I think they when that happened to them, they realized, hey, no, we really got to try to get these things right. We can't, try to take our liberties and all that good stuff. Like they have to lean in, and like One Piece brought the original writer of the manga in to help cast it and kind of help story it out, and like it feels like they're doing that now with more and more things, and that's just not every author needs to show run their thing. But some things that are hard to do, you probably want to bring in the creative team behind the original idea.
Like to even just maybe ask author what they were, just be like, hey, what were you going for here? We can't really do this.
Yeah, we can't crack this code, but what were you trying to do? Yeah. No, I'm with you. You see it on Apple as well. Like they brought in Blake Crouch to do Dark Matter. He was like he was the showrunner for it. That thing had passed hands like 7 times. Nobody could figure it out. And finally, Apple's like, hey, we can do it, but we're going to do it as a show. And Crouch was like, okay. And they're like, we want you to be the showrunner because you know this better than anybody. And he's like, okay.
All right, I got some ideas.
Yeah. So like,
as the creator, I have a few ideas.
I think it's just as a producer or studio, like don't be afraid to ask the people who made these things to come in. Like I know you get the rights, but man, it does so much for it. It lets it breathe a little bit.
Yeah.
Heck, just even hearing the music was awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited for this.
Last Netflix geek thing I have. There was a ton. It was honestly just a giant event that went on almost all weekend. Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon. Part 1, A Child of Fire.
Yeah.
That's a long title when you add on all those extra things. Thoughts?
You can go first, Brett.
I don't think my thoughts have changed much since we saw the teaser, which is, and I don't know how much of this is influenced by the fact that we know that it was like a pitched Star Wars movie, but it just looks like a knockoff Star Wars, and it feels like a knockoff Star Wars, and it just does not look as good as a Star Wars. And you can try to make it be something other than a Star Wars, and maybe in the final product, like in the movie, I will not be like, it's trying to be Star Wars and that's disappointing.
Yeah.
Maybe it has enough of a identity in its DNA that will kind of make it feel like it belongs by itself, and I won't judge it against Star Wars. But until then, it just feels like it's trying to be Star Wars, and it doesn't interest me in any way that Star Wars typically does.
I think my issue with it is this movie is not popular because of its own merits. It's popular because of Zack Snyder's internet cult. It's popular because it's a failed Star Wars pitch.
Yeah.
It's not drawing attention because you watched a trailer and you were like, oh man, that actually looks really interesting. Because it's just not that. There's too much baggage that comes along with a Zack Snyder film at this point.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm gonna watch it. Like I know I'm gonna watch it. Because I think at this point it's almost like, the old saying, it's like a train wreck. Like you can't look away from it.
Right.
And like anything Zack Snyder puts out, I feel like I can't look away. Because I'm like, what is he gonna do this time? How many Jesus metaphors is this movie gonna have? Like you wonder,
3, 7, 33, or 40. If he wants to continue with the theme.
I'm gonna go with 33 probably.
Oh,
that's usually the one he uses the most, right? Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm with you though. My thoughts haven't really changed.
Yeah, my thoughts are still the same. Like, and here's the thing. As I watch the trailer and I see stuff in the trailer, I'm like, that is cool. But for me, it's, I don't even know what to call it. The tangibles, maybe? The important stuff that goes into making a movie that I don't trust. I don't trust Zack Snyder as a screenwriter. I don't, all the Jesus references.
There's just so much baggage that comes with a Snyder film at this point.
It's gonna. I feel like there's not gonna be Twitter. Any metaphor put in. It's just gonna be all like so in your face with what he's trying to say.
It's a mile wide and an inch deep in everything he does.
Yeah, and then just like the other part is the normal stuff you see that honestly make it a Zack Snyder movie, which aren't interesting whatsoever. Like he's doing the cinematography thing again, where everything's blurry, except for this random thing that isn't important, and you can't really see what's on the screen.
Yeah.
And it's honestly one of the worst filmmaking decisions you could make. I think it looks so bad. And then obviously slow motion. There's so much slow motion in this trailer, it's ridiculous, and it's almost getting comical at this point.
It's almost like he leans into the bit.
Yeah.
And it's super desaturated because,
But I see like art and designs from it, and I'm like, that looks cool. Like the Spider Lady reminds me of something from Saga. Looks cool. And like whatever the robot that Anthony Hopkins is playing with his weird antlers, he looks cool.
He does look cool. I agree.
But I feel like there's not going to be anything there. Will I be able to see him, or will it be blurry because I'm looking at a grain of grass on the side?
Well, if not that, I mean, Snyder's has a super unique visual look that he likes, and unfortunately, it does mean that like on any given shot, 40 to 60% of the frame is just not really visible, right? Like it's all for this. It's the service of this one thing. It's interesting. Brief tangent here. We are kind of in the process of making a movie, and our DP loves these kinds of shallow depth of field, extreme close-up shots, and I just feel like, it's good to have that, someone who knows how to do that, but then you have to have someone there to also be like, okay, but like not every shot can be like this.
Yeah.
Because how does it flow? And no, so it'll be interesting. I don't know. I haven't been that impressed with anything I've seen out of Rebel. Even the design of some of the character designs aren't bad, but the ships I don't think look that interesting. The guns and weapons I don't think look that interesting.
I'm a big fan of Sofia Boutella. I think she's awesome ever since she popped up in Kingsman.
Mm-hmm.
And then like Moon Honsu's in it. He's awesome. Whoever everybody wants is Green Arrow. I like him.
Charlie Hunnam.
Yeah, Charlie Hunnam.
Yeah.
Like I think it's a really good cast.
Yeah, he always puts together a good cast.
I think it's just honestly, it's the filmmaking side of everything that I know is going to annoy me. The other part of it, and I don't think anybody really talks about this part. I think this even goes into how studios often view who they're hiring for movies. What have you done for me lately?
Mm-hmm.
What he did for me last was, in my opinion, the worst movie ever made. So, like, I'm going in from a real negative space.
He has something to prove to you.
Yeah.
And not that he's obviously setting out, like, with that in mind, but any film of yours, if it's your first film, like, no one knows who you are. If it's your second film, someone loved your last one and someone hated your last one. Mm-hmm. And so you always have to have the idea in your head of, like, okay, how am I going to at least make them not hate it? Maybe I won't win them over to be the biggest fan. That's the other thing. Like, you don't necessarily have to become fans of filmmakers, right? Mm-hmm. Like, just make a good movie. But I do think Snyder he's got, I think he has a little bit of an ego.
You think?
I think he has a little bit of an ego. And I think that cult of personality does something for him, right? Like, that feels good to be liked. Mm-hmm. I won't deny that that's a very human thing. Mm-hmm. At the same time, you shouldn't have to win someone over to like you as a filmmaker, and that may be a problem outside of filmmakers and more of how we discuss films and filmmaking, and we do, I don't know, like, just judge the movie for its own if you can. But it's hard sometimes when the filmmaker does not seem to let you do that.
The other part is, like, I feel like we're really putting the cart before the horse with just everything that's planned.
Everything that he does.
It's like everything needs a cinematic universe now. And it, like, for something like DC or Marvel, you can be like, okay, we kind of want to do this. Like, giant IPs, you can try and force that kind of existence. But to just be like, hey, we have 2 movies planned, an anime, a spin-off, a video game, and we're
comics, right? Even I think there's some printed material.
We're putting those all into existence right now. So you said that about Army of the Dead too.
Yeah.
And where is it now?
Yeah.
It's dead.
They had one spin-off film.
Yep.
And I did not watch.
It was better than Army of the Dead.
I thought it was fine.
It was better than Army of the Dead in my opinion.
Yeah.
Couple things in the comments. Dead Fist 12. Random note. This is not the first Devil May Cry anime. This is just the first one marketed to the West. So that's kind of cool.
Okay.
It's good to know that, this has been done
there might be some
before.
other things out there that we can...
Yep. And then he also says, he's talking about Rebel Moon, it's good that I don't invest any of my time into his films. Like, talking about Zack Snyder. Because I do not feel the way you guys feel right now. I'm like, good for you. Good for you. And then Baroque says, I hope to find somebody who loves me the way Zack Snyder loves intermittent slow-mo and fight scenes.
Fight scenes? Try it randomly throughout the film.
Blade of Grass movie? Slow-mo. Rock falling off a cliff? Slow-mo.
So there were more trailers, though, than just Netflix.
Yeah, I've got, like...
Let's keep running through these, because we got 2 movies to review yet tonight.
8 more? 2 of... Here, I'll do these 2.
You guys both watched The Killer, too, huh?
Yeah.
We'll do this really, really quick. This could probably be
for next week.
Probably be in the news section, but GTA 6 announced that their trailer was coming in December. Probably during the Game Awards.
I was to say
Yeah.
That tweet that was like the 8th tweet in a thread got like over 1 million likes. It popped off, which is just insane. The other really quick thing that honestly I wasn't even sure what it was, but I guess November 7th happened, which is in 7, which is Mass Effect.
Oh, yeah.
And I guess they announced something. I watched their little teaser of a dude walking in a trench coat with an N7 logo on it, and I was like, okay, well, that means nothing. And then it was like 2 days later, they're like, yeah, we're looking for a 2029 release date. Guess what? Just don't say anything.
Yeah.
It's like the Elder Scrolls 6 release, teaser, right? It's
thing.
like, okay,
man,
you don't need to don't spend money on that marketing.
Anthem died, and BioWare won't have a game come out for 10 years.
What?
They have Dragon Age Dreadwolf that they've very quietly been developing.
They won't have a game come out for 10 years.
I honestly thought that got canceled.
Dreadwolf?
Yeah. Did it? Maybe did they just have a creative director step down?
Probably.
Okay.
I have not even heard of that game.
It's definitely coming out.
I'll move on to the next thing.
2024 release date on the LinkedIn profile.
We'll see. This one just matters to me, honestly. Mr. Monk's Last Case. It's a Monk film on Peacock. Super excited. In the trailer, they reference that he had a lot of trouble during COVID, and I never even thought of his character. He's afraid of germs.
Oh gosh,
it's like,
you're right.
What would it be like for him during COVID? So I'm really excited to see. A flashback maybe, or even just him talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that is super interesting. All right. Movie. Ghostbusters. Frozen Empire. Sequel to Ghostbusters Afterlife.
I still need to watch Afterlife.
It's just reminded me.
I just watched it.
Did you like it?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I thought
Afterlife's good.
I thought it was good.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And this trailer, I don't think looks bad. I think it's filled with nostalgia bait.
Which is kind of what Ghostbusters Afterlife trailer was.
It ended up being that way. Yeah, for sure. I didn't feel like it was marketed that way. But by the end, and it makes sense why this next one is. No. The only thing that this one reminded me of was, so in the film Tropic Thunder, before the film starts, there are trailers for all of the actors in their movies.
Oh, they're fake.
They're fake movies, and one of them is
Ghostbusters: Frozen Empire.
No, but it's oh my god,
it's his action hero.
It's the action hero. The world like freezes. And all I could think of was that.
Ben Stiller,
here we go again.
Action hero from Tropic Thunder.
Tug Speedman? Is that
Tug
right?
Speedman.
Tug Speedman.
All right.
In
Tug Speedman. Scorcher?
Yes. Scorcher 2, Scorcher 3, Global Meltdown, Scorcher 4, something Frozen. Because this time it's chilly. Like, it's so dumb. It's so dumb. And I am excited for this movie.
Yeah, Scorcher 5, Global Meltdown.
But like...
when he's got the babies attached to his chest.
All I could think of during this trailer was that, and I will legitimately give this film a shot.
So real quick question. How long before we get a Tug Speedman movie?
Oh god. I hope it's not that long.
I bet it would be
like
just as like a Peacock original.
Yes.
Or something like that where somebody's desperate for anything. From the world of Tropic Thunder comes Tug Speedman. Scorcher.
Oh, all of those trailers before that movie were fantastic. Mm-hmm. Jack Black's the fatties, Robert Downey Jr.'s Demon Alley or something like I don't remember what it was. He's a priest and he's in love with Tobey Maguire.
JT said, "Who left the fridge open?"
Yeah, that is the line. That's the line from the trailer. Who left the fridge open?
Tug Speedman, directed by Zack Snyder.
Oh, thank you.
I'm feeling a Tropic Thunder rewatch coming up.
In any case, Luke, what's our next trailer?
Inside Out 2.
Oh, thumbs up. Yep. This looks fun.
Get ready to feel the emotions.
Yep.
Get ready to be sad, but in a good way. Kind of.
Happy sad.
I
have a book about multiple emotions.
You're thinking of Sister's Alley, I think is... Or is it...
Satan's Alley. Satan's Alley. Yep. That's the... Kurt Lazarus and Tobey Maguire.
Yes. Dude, that movie, I would love to hear how that movie got made.
There needs to be a documentary.
Tropic Thunder?
Yeah.
I just remember when it came out and everybody was freaking out about it because of all the R-word usage in it.
I got Dana to watch it with me one time and she was like, "I'm never watching this with you again." And I was like,
That's
okay.
so funny. I think Stephanie liked it. I don't know. Maybe not. She probably gets annoyed with how much I laugh in that movie.
Dude, it's so good.
I laughed my butt off for that entire movie.
Did you put it back on?
No. I lost it.
Oh.
In the cushions.
That's unfortunate.
I find myself occasionally quoting that movie.
Oh, all the time.
Often.
Okay. Sorry.
Any thoughts on Inside Out 2, though?
Looks great, love it. It's a pretty basic trailer. It's not telling us much other than Riley's a little more grown up and we're hitting puberty. Hormones are coming in and
here comes the anxiety.
It'll be
and every adult went,
yes.
Yeah, still got that one.
Yep. No. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they balance that. There is a little bit of drama behind the scenes there in that I think Amy Poehler may be the only returning cast member. Or one of a few.
I think it was Fear.
A number of them were offered
Disgust and
very little money to come back.
Who was?
So there's some new voices.
It was the girl from The Office.
Oh, Mindy Kaling?
Yeah, I think she's not back.
No, I don't think he's back.
And then somebody else, one other one. Was it the other girl from The Office?
Maybe Anger.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. in any case. Movie looks good. Trailer looks good.
But there was another animated trailer, and it's probably going to be the one that steals Best Animated Movie Oscar from Inside Out 2, and that's the Garfield movie.
Of course.
Starring Chris Pratt.
Starring Chris Pratt's actual voice. The man needs to learn how to do voices.
I forgot this is kind of like what helped start the whole Chris Pratt for every voice acting role ever joke.
Yeah.
On the internet was Garfield, and then he got Mario, and everybody freaked out.
and like
this trailer came out, I was like, "Oh yeah, that got announced like a year and a half ago."
Yeah. And like honestly, I think we talked about it in our review, but I think he did really well in Mario. I think he killed it.
It was good in Mario.
I have zero faith in his Garfield.
Yeah, same.
That does not sound like Garfield.
Yeah, we were talking before, and it was just like, that's not how I picture a big, fat, orange cat sounding. I threw out Clancy Brown.
Clancy Brown's good at a lot of things.
Just be like, oh man, I'm a big cat. Give me a lasagna.
Didn't Bill Murray voice him in the past?
Yeah.
What a time to be alive.
And honestly, like in the first 30 seconds of the trailer, when it was like baby Garfield meeting John, I was like, will this be good? And then they aged him out. I was like, nope, looks bad.
Sure
looks bad.
Not good.
Stop. Go backwards. Other way. Throw it reverse there.
Abort.
Yeah, doesn't look good. But no, what does look good?
What does look good?
Reacher Season 2.
Oh.
Yes, please.
Have you watched Reacher Season 1?
No, sure haven't. It's on my list. I talked with someone yesterday about what they were watching, and they're like, well, right now I'm going through Reacher.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm really liking it. And I was like,
just do a pick again.
I've heard good things. Clearly it needs to go on my list.
Yeah, it was a great show. I was excited for it because I even liked the Tom Cruise movie, and I was like, oh cool, we can probably get a more in-depth mystery Reacher. And then it still really surprised me. I thought it was great, so I'm really excited for Season 2.
Yeah, Reacher is kind of like one of those. It was like the sleeper hit of last year. I feel like nobody was like. My expectations weren't super high for it. I think Alan Richardson's a good actor, but I didn't expect him to carry the show as well as he did.
He was really good.
He was so good.
He's in the new Fast and Furious movie. Right?
Yeah. He's Thad Castle.
Yep.
I'm sad.
You want to go real throwback? He was Arthur Curry on Smallville.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's Raphael in the live-action Ninja Turtles movies.
Despite him not probably ever wanting to talk about it, but yeah.
Yeah, if we ever meet him, we won't ask him.
No, probably not.
We also won't ever meet him, so it's okay.
Obviously, Thad being his most iconic role.
I guess Thad.
I'm Thad. But yeah, no, Reacher Season 2 looks dope. I can't wait.
And the last thing I have is Masters of the Air. This is a World War II show on Apple TV, and it's by the people that did Band of Brothers in the Pacific.
Yep.
So sign me up.
Starring Elvis himself.
Austin Butler. Yes.
Yeah.
And Barry Keoghan's in it too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big thumbs up.
These
this looks awesome.
Band of Brothers style shows always like. I just recently watched like both of those in maybe like the past year or something because I'd never seen them before.
I remember when you were watching them.
The cast is stacked, and it's like before any of them were famous.
Yeah.
And it's like a character shows up for like 10 minutes in an episode and they die, and you're just like, he played Charles Xavier in like 5 movies. What the heck? But yeah, really, really excited. It looks fantastic. I have a lot of faith in Apple TV at the moment.
Yeah.
Looks great. And I'm out of trailers now.
Okay, well, before we move on to our Marvels review, I have to read something from the chat because JT asked so nicely. So this is in reference
to this, Brett.
This is in reference to our a documentary about the making of Tropic Thunder.
Oh, okay.
A real movie about making a fake movie about a real fake book about a fake war by a fake guy in real life.
It works.
It works.
It's so perfect. In.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Baroque also says, I always pop off when Simon Pegg shows up in Band of Brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah, like what?
Like what?
What's Simon Pegg doing here?
I like the second part of the Reacher trailer, though, that I totally forgot about. JT says, Reacher kicking a car and making the airbags go off is something I never thought I'd
Yeah, it's so cool.
I can't wait.
That's dope.
We got some good stuff coming. I'm looking forward to it. And Reacher's in like a month. Yeah, like it comes out December 15th, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Alrighty then, we will be here talking about the Marvels for the next few minutes.
Just the next few?
I don't know. Tyler did not see either of these two movies that we're gonna review.
Did not.
I
celebrated my anniversary.
No, that's important. That's important. But we'll keep it non-spoilery.
I wasn't invited to your guys' anniversary party. What the heck, man?
Bro.
And since we had so many trailers to get through, we'll try and keep it quick so we can, not have a 2-hour show.
Why not?
I mean, we could. I know JT will hang around as long as he can. So Rogue 2, for that matter. So The Marvels is the latest MCU film. This is a sequel to Captain Marvel, 2019 film starring Brie Larson, as well as very much a sequel to Miss Marvel, the Disney Plus
and
TV show.
WandaVision.
Although that's probably the lesser of the three. I mean, of the three kind of leads, that's the one that's... WandaVision is not about her. She just happens to get her powers in that.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
you know what it's not absolutely connected to in the slightest bit?
What?
Secret Invasion.
Not at all.
Did you know they do Secret Invasion in this movie? And it takes 30 seconds? What happened? What happened with Secret Invasion? It's just mind-boggling.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Some executive went to the wrong conference room and just
pitched something.
Was the coolest cat ever and just happened to get something made. I don't know.
Man, that is just...
I don't know.
That just feels like an embarrassment for Marvel at this point.
It's a black eye for sure.
And a year and a half full of black eyes, though.
Yeah.
That's the problem, right? It's not a shiner after you've.
We're in the 10th round and we are bloodied. The cut man is doing every possible thing he can, letting all the blood out. We're just like, can you see? We're tapping shoulders and going 3. Like,
this isn't a lucky punch that someone got on you. You're on the ground getting kicked now.
Yeah, it's bad.
The ref is not calling to stop it.
It's like if you take a hit in the face, I'm just gonna count to 10.
So the real question is does the Marvels continue that trend of black eyes, or is it a turnaround?
No, it's a black eye again. IMO.
I think it's definitely if this came down to like a ask the judges, right? I think it's an L. There's not like a clear winner in a round of boxing, and it goes to the judges to see who wins.
Let's go to my favorite.
I don't think it wins. That said, I don't think it's a clear knockout either for the movie. It has some things that are redeemable, enjoyable, a blessing in some ways. Runtime.
Argument. In my opinion, sometimes you just got to go to the best rating system there is in the known universe. Would you give it on a 1 to 2 scale? A 1 or a 2?
It's a 1.
Yeah, it's a 1.
It's a 1 out of 2.
It's a giant 1, bold, underlined.
Do you have like a one sentence your tweet
I'll just read my Letterboxd.
Give me your Letterboxd review.
Arguably the worst villain in the MCU. The Tree of Heroes is the best part, but sadly with such a short runtime, they aren't given time to breathe. At an hour and 45 minutes, there is a lot of exposition and somehow steals over stuff. Feels like it could have been 90 minutes. There's just random stuff in this movie that means nothing.
Yeah.
I feel like I was gracious with 90 minutes. I feel like you could get this down to like an hour and 15 minutes and get the exact same movie.
Which is crazy because, like, if you watch these trailers, it looks like it's going to be this big thing.
Yeah, and it's not. It's just not. I agreed, Luke. I think that it fails to live up to its potential. It has an incredibly weak second act. The villain is bad. Like, beyond not... there are, like, villains that are maybe just uninteresting, or they do something. They do one thing well, but they're not that. Either they're not acted well, but they're an interesting character, or they're not that interesting, but there's at least a good actor like giving a like. I think of in Thor: Love and Thunder, like Christian Bale.
He's the best part of that movie.
He's the best part of that movie, right? Like, the character itself is not that interesting, but he delivers a great performance. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, the villain in this is neither interesting nor portrayed that well. Whether or not she was ever given anything decent to begin with is maybe debatable, because I don't think the script for this is all that strong either. That said, what you mentioned, the chemistry between the three leads is pretty superb, and I would love to see more of them. Mm-hmm. It's weird that in a movie that should just feel like this awesome team up, entourage. What's the word I'm looking for? Cop? Not buddy cop, but ensemble. It's a small ensemble, but it's still an ensemble. There's not a ton of room given to Lieutenant Trouble. Why can't I think of her name? Monica. To even like feel like she's really a part of the team.
Her character's story in the movie is just kind of words.
Yeah.
It's like a quick conversation. It's a quick conversation here to say, don't like this, and then it's a quick conversation to say, oh, actually, it's okay.
Yeah.
That's her story.
Yeah.
And honestly, she was my favorite of the three.
Oh, yeah?
Because I find her powers more interesting.
Well, yeah, that's the other thing. I think they're interesting. I don't think any of their powers are particularly well utilized. I think it ends up being mostly a punching match at the end of the day, and unfortunately, they've turned Captain Marvel into it's a hammer or a bullet or whatever you want, like, and that's all she is. Mm-hmm. And she has the capacity to do so much more unique things, and you have this kind of duo across from her who can do really unique things. Mm-hmm. And they just don't do a lot of things. Mm-hmm. And I like as much as the next person, because I'm a big character first kind of film goer. I like seeing people sit in a room and talk through things. Mm-hmm. I like those moments of when Captain Marvel like apologizes to Kamala how she talked to her. Like, that's not something you'd see in a male-centric movie. But those are the kind of conversations we need to have about how we communicate with one another. And that builds character. That said, there's too few moments where they get to really shine and use those powers. And especially in a film where they're, for half of the movie, swapping, maybe 2/3 of the movie, swapping places when they're using powers.
Mm-hmm. And I felt like my favorite scene in the entire movie is when they're double dutching.
Yeah.
Their little training montage.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It was awesome. And then I feel like actually in combat, they're just kind of like, just punch.
It doesn't help that it feels like it's just shot on a stage in front of a green screen.
Yeah.
Like, it's the least, it seems like it feels like it could be a cool location, but how it's shot is so uninteresting. Mm-hmm. And it's
I think the editing is poorly. Really bad.
Well, their director left while they were editing it. She went to go work on her next movie.
That's normal.
That's not that unusual.
Oh, I thought it was weird that because everybody made a big deal out of it for her leaving.
No, it's because she's a woman. That's why they made a big deal of it.
Probably true.
Yeah.
Like, I know, like, James Gunn helps edit his movies, but not every director does that. Like, even so, like James Gunn is working on like 5 things right now. Like, he was writing Superman when he was finishing Guardians of the Galaxy. So I think that is only really people wanting to be mad at something because they want to be mad at
Marvel's
something.
Also enough of a factory, like a movie factory, that like
true.
I don't know how much, like, the executives are going to give their notes and the director's going to tell the editor, okay, do this. Because if not, like, you're not getting your movie made the way you want. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
It's just how it is.
You mentioned chemistry between the three.
Yeah.
I got a little tired of it
Mm-hmm.
in the third act. It felt like it was so much.
Yeah.
Like when Miss Marvel, it was honestly when Miss Marvel was just like, "Oh, Captain, my Captain," was like, "I'm done. I'm done. We don't need to fangirl at every single moment we see her. Like let's do something."
Mm-hmm.
Or like let's react, or maybe like let's have a little bit of a conflict. I know it's super cliche to be like don't want to meet your heroes.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you need to do that, but like there's the moment in the first act where Captain Marvel does yell at her because like, hey, we got to get out of here. We have to save who we can. I feel like there's a moment there for learning experience, and it was kind of just immediately shouldn't have yelled at you. Like I would have liked a conversation there.
Sure, there could have been more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be like, I thought you were a hero. We got to save these people. And he's like, we're doing what we can.
Yeah.
And it's kind of the same thing, too, with the cliche they kind of did go with was in between Captain Marvel and now I can't remember her name, Monica.
No.
In between Carol and Monica, which is, oh, why weren't you here?
Yeah, that felt strange. It felt unnecessarily strenuous.
Yeah. And, like, the answer is always in my head. It's like, well, they were at war.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. That's... There are a lot of... I think the movie has a lot of issues. I'm maybe a little bit playing devil's advocate against Luke, who clearly does not like the movie.
Didn't like it, no.
I had fun with it. It's not one that I think I'll go back and rewatch. So, like, all these points you're bringing up on a second rewatch, I'll probably notice them more, and I'll probably dislike the movie a little more because of it. Maybe not. I don't know that for sure, but it's also not one that I liked so much that I would go back to the theater. I think the conflict, the main conflict, is wrapped up super quick and is very unentertaining and not clever. I mean, like,
honestly, the conflict just kind of ended.
It just ends.
Nobody even really did anything. It's just like, oh, it's done.
Yeah.
Yikes.
And kind of then the epilogue of where all of the characters end up. One thing I think is really cool, specifically with Kamala and where she's going and what she's doing. I think there's...
The ending scene and the post-credit scene, I think, were great.
I didn't care about the post-credit scene. That's heresy, I know, but...
I mainly just like the choice that they did.
Sure. I can understand that. But in terms of, like, what, Captain Marvel ends up in kind of fulfilling her character arc for the movie, I think it's pretty uninteresting, but they don't... I think it's a fine idea of, how she feels towards these people and how they feel towards her and reconciliation, but there isn't ever any reconciliation. It's all just, and I'm gonna go do the thing, and you can show that and you can do the right thing because it's the right thing, whether or not there's reconciliation. But I think it did feel like it just kind of happened.
Yeah.
So,
speaking of things that just happened, there's like two things in the movie that just draw out the length of a very short movie, and that is Singing Planet and Cats. Singing Planet, great comedic idea, terrible execution. There was no point at all with them being on a singing planet. And the Cats, awful, horrible.
I liked the Cats. It was a bit that went on too long.
I shouldn't have even been in that area for that movie.
I don't disagree.
Anytime you're on the space station, it's just like, this is...
When you talk about
this is fluff.
what you're going to cut out to make this movie an hour 15, it's that stuff.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's not necessary. And I think there could have been a plot reason to do that and make that valid, but at the end of the day, they don't. It's just, we're going to go back here because...
I feel like it's an excuse to, like, it's like, oh, we have Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
We've got to put him in the movie somewhere. I love Kamala's family.
Yeah.
They're amazing, but their scenes didn't mean anything.
There's nothing there that's moving the plot forward in any way, shape, or form. No. It is purely fluff. So, yeah. Any other pros, cons? I want to kind of get through this so we can keep talking.
Keep chugging.
Keep chugging.
Do we want to talk about the spoilers at the end? I don't think Tyler cares.
Don't care.
Tyler doesn't care, so we will be talking about the 2 post-credit scenes for the Marvels. If you do care, just skip ahead a few minutes.
Yeah. All right, so
one's an X-Men.
Yeah, the very end of the movie is Kamala meeting with Haley Steinfeld. Cool.
Kate
awesome.
Bishop.
Like that.
Fantastic.
It's a Young Avengers setup.
Yeah.
It's Samuel L. Jackson doing
they're starting it over.
Yeah. It's hey, do you think you were the only superhero on Earth?
Yeah. Honestly,
what was it? The only kid superhero?
Do you think you're the only kid superhero in Lower Manhattan area?
And she's great. Like, her line delivery on that is hilarious because she knows what she's. It's kind of meta in that way. Like, she knows what she's doing.
Yeah. Great scene. Yeah. I love the idea. It honestly could be a breath of fresh air that the MCU needed.
Yeah.
To do this.
Yeah.
And post-credit scene is, just like the way the movie ends is just, I feel like Marvel's like, we have to connect this to the multiverse somehow.
Yeah.
Which is super dumb. But you get the post-credit scene, which is Monica waking up in a different timeline. Her mom is there, but it's not actually her mom. And Beast shows up. And I really like that it's Beast and not like any other X-Men you would expect. It's like, you know what? This is the one that would probably be here.
Yeah.
And I just like that.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't really like the CG on him. I'm used to Kelsey Grammer prosthetics, and they looked amazing.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's 2023. We're going cheap route. So
who's playing him?
Kelsey Grammer.
Okay.
Which honestly was just kind of funny because like they can't help themselves. Yeah. Gotta cast the person who used to be him.
The OG.
But yeah, I like the post credit scene. That was cool.
Yeah. No, I could care less about the X-Men tie-in
because is that the only X-Men tie-in in the whole movie?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Even
well, I mean, it's been all but confirmed that Kamala is a mutant.
Oh, sure.
That's in her show, though. So
yeah.
So there's an X-Men in the entire movie. Well, she's certainly not an X-Men. She's
not yet.
She's a mutant.
She's an Inhuman, technically. Let's be real. But Marvel doesn't like to talk about the Inhuman.
No.
I'm not doing all that.
Luke,
that project.
What do you give this on our?
I give this a solid straight to streaming. I hope those S's were great for the audience.
They sounded pretty gross just for me.
They were real slurpy.
Yeah, they were.
I think this is.
They're a little wet.
I think this is the perfect Disney Plus feature.
Yeah.
Probably gonna wait for that.
I think it'll do great on there. Because it didn't do great in theaters.
Oh man,
it did not. We can talk about that in a little bit. But I'm gonna bump it up to a Matthew McConaughey. I think I think this could be a fun date night type of thing. My wife certainly had a good time, and she is much more of a movie critic than I think most other women I know. That's
wow.
Mostly because I have rubbed off on her. I don't have that many friends who are movie critics.
Did you know Brett just said that women hate movies and they don't have a cinematic eye?
Nope.
Are you all going to take that?
Absolutely.
This was directed by a woman. How dare you, Brett? freaking misogynist over here.
Oh my gosh, I am
Good
the worst.
Lord.
I am the worst. I think this is a film with the key audience is not white males in their 30s. I think.
Oh, that's why I didn't like it. You just described me.
And therefore, I think it would be a fine movie to go to the theater with your honey on a date, and have a reasonably good time. You might have. Look, I'm the same guy who I'm not gonna tell you to go to see a Fast and Furious movie in the theater. But
yeah,
Luke
I'm gonna tell you to go see it in IMAX theater.
But Luke will tell you to see it. So here's what I'm saying: is if this is your kind of movie, if you are the ideal audience, I can recommend it for the theater. I think it does have redeemable things. I think it is enjoyable to a certain degree. I don't think you're gonna walk out of it being like, I can't wait to see this clean up at awards, because it won't.
Clean up at the Razzies.
Probably. Razzies are cruel.
They are.
They don't need to happen.
They're a necessary evil.
They kind of are. They kind of are. Look, you have to be willing to make fun of yourself.
Who was it a couple years ago? Somebody won like worst performance, and they were like very happy about it. I can't remember who it was.
I remember.
Didn't Halle Berry win?
Halle Berry went and accepted her award in person.
Yeah.
I think she also won Best Actress that year though too.
Good for her.
Because it was Catwoman and whatever she won it for.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That doesn't surprise me.
Good for her. Just own it. Yeah, I saw his skull.
Okay, Baroque over in the chat.
You gotta read it to me.
Nope. It's too PG-13 for this show.
Are we not a PG-13 show?
Baroque said...
Just change some of the colorful language.
No, Baroque just said Brett also just said he rubbed off on her.
We
heard it when you said it, but we tried not to react to it.
That's good. That's funny.
All right. The other movie Luke and I watched this week was The Killer. This is the new David Fincher film starring Michael Fassbender on Netflix. Also, supposedly some limited release, theatrical release as well. I don't think it was in our area. So
I didn't see it on the...
I watched it at home. Luke, what do you think?
I thought it was pretty good. Here, I'll read my letterbox again. This one is short and sweet and does a terrible job of saying what I thought about the movie. I was kind of going for more of a comedic one with this
Okay.
I honestly knew what I was going to say before I even watched the movie, but I added to the beginning of it. Really enjoyed this. Fincher is a beast. But I really just want Mindhunter Season 3.
Amen.
Oh, yeah. Nice. Okay. Yeah. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
The last sentence was 100% ready to send no matter what I said before.
No matter the quality of the movie.
Trash. Just want Mindhunter Season 3.
Right.
Best movie ever. Now give me Mindhunter Season 3.
Yeah. No, that's fair. I think this is one of maybe the least interesting David Fincher films I've seen. I think Fassbender is a good choice for the role. Mm-hmm. And this might come down to a personal thing. His movie is completely voiceover. I do not particularly love voiceover.
Yeah,
and that is all that this film is.
5 minutes into this movie, I went, Brett might hate this movie. The first 15 minutes of this movie is Michael Fassbender talking to whoever is watching the movie.
Yeah.
Oh,
redundancies.
That said, Fincher is a good enough director. Fassbender's a good enough actor that at the end of the day, it works. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's all that interesting, but I think it works. And
I think it's not interesting. I won't say that. The reason I think it feels not interesting is it's just extremely basic.
Yeah.
It's just a revenge movie. There's nothing incredibly special about it. You've seen this movie before.
Oh, absolutely.
It's just that what it's based on and through David Fincher's style of movie making, you kind of like add different spices to it.
Yeah.
it's a pork chop you've had before.
Yeah.
But this time it has some cayenne on it.
Yeah.
So maybe it's a little spicy.
I guess
that's really it.
I wanted even more cayenne. Maybe. I don't know. Like it's not a film that I got done with and was like, wow.
Yeah.
It was a film that I got done with and was like,
cool.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, all right.
I finished it. What night did I watch this? 12. I watched this last night.
It's possible.
Yeah, I finished it and then I was like, all right, I'll finish watching the football game.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I just,
it's a good movie.
No, yeah, it's not bad. It's
I gave it 3.5 stars.
There's not much there in terms of like the point of it is that this is a man in isolation who
might be insane.
Is definitely insane.
Redundancies.
But all he has is himself, right? Like it's a revenge plot because he does have someone, but there's no one there for him to ever have real chemistry with outside of in a scene, right? Like I think he has great chemistry with the boss in the scene at the
in Chicago.
The
last guy.
No. Sorry.
Tilda Swinton.
Tilda Swinton.
The lawyer. I'm gonna go through all of them until you say, yeah, that one.
His boss, the guy who hires him, who gives him direction.
The lawyer.
Okay.
Shot the nails through the computer.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. The lawyer. I thought that scene was like that. The chemistry between those two characters was really palpable, right? Tilda Swinton, I think that conversation, Tilda Swinton just steals that scene.
Yeah, she was really
she
good.
does great. I thought the guy at the end was okay.
Yeah.
But there's not like Fassbender has to do the heavy lifting, and he's a good enough actor to do it well for the most part. Yeah, and I think it gets a little tiring after a while.
And interestingly enough, my favorite scene, or even just chapter, it's a 6-chapter movie.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Is the first one when he's like doing the first hit, and you can like see what his process is supposed to be like. Just found it so interesting.
Yeah.
Like in David Fincher's mind, this is what a assassin does.
Yeah.
They're psychotic, they're extremely repetitive, they have a very strict way of life, and they sit in a building for a week and just wait for somebody to show up. And then things go not according to plan. But
and that was great. Like that was I think that was an excellent way to start the film.
And I thought the rest of the movie might kind of be like that, and I think something the rest might be missing is like when you go to see him break into the steroid man's house.
The Florida man's house.
Yeah, the Florida man's house. It's like, I would like to see him prep this and like figure out a plan other than just, all right, I'm going in. Oh, he had that all along, like type of thing.
Because they set up in the first scene, here's kind of the formula, right? And then they don't ever show you that again. It is more of just, okay, and then this, and then, plot point A, plot point B, plot point C. Whereas maybe some of that intrigue is built around the psychology of how someone gets in the right headspace. There could be a point there, Luke, where they're trying to say is he's not in the right headspace.
Yeah.
It's a revenge. It's a revenge
little
movie.
eye twitch.
Right?
He's like,
I'm excited to watch this one.
I do think the manner of which he goes about killing people is interesting and intriguing, and the tools he uses to get around and from
his process is so
things.
interesting.
It's very clever and pretty neat.
I think a 6-episode miniseries, like a chapter for each little city he's in.
That could have been cool.
I think it would have been really interesting.
Yeah.
You can even, I think, add some characters like the people he does know and be like, hey, you good? Like, or like, I gotta go back and save him.
Yeah.
But I still enjoyed my time. I still give it a fanboy worthy.
Nice. I'm gonna give it a Matthew McConaughey. I got 2 Matthew McConaughey's this week.
All right.
But my guess is that if you're a David Fincher fan, you'll probably enjoy something about it.
Mm-hmm.
If you hate voiceovers, just beware.
If you hate David Fincher, honestly, I have questions. Like, what do you not like about him?
Like, come on.
Maybe you're Mark Zuckerberg.
Maybe. Oh my goodness. All right. Well, let's move on to some news. Tyler, you haven't talked in a while. You have some news stories to tell us?
My biggest one is just the Game Awards stuff.
Well, let's hit the Game Awards real quick. Yeah, let's do it.
The Game Awards came out with all their nominees. Just want to quickly hit on a couple of categories, and then we can kind of discuss those a little bit. So, the Game of the Year category, Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Spider-Man 2, Resident Evil 4, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Just very quickly, was there anything in here that surprised you? Anything you disagree with? Anything like that? I'll say for me, the biggest surprise was Spider-Man 2 getting in there. We kind of texted about this a little bit today, and I guess you had seen some kind of similar discourse.
I haven't played it, so this is all secondary. But based on what you've said about the game, based on what I've kind of seen online, and a few reviewers, people say that this game is good.
Yeah.
Maybe great, but not necessarily Game of the Year contender.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't give me Game of the Year vibes when I play it. And I think part of that is it's a sequel.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a sequel to what is already a really good game. The other part of it too is I just don't think it does enough to differentiate itself from the first one to be nommed for Game of the Year, especially in a year that was this strong.
Well, let me tell you something. If you can get Resident Evil remakes nommed, you don't have to do anything different.
2 and 4. 2 and 4 both, man. 2 and 4 both got into there. And I kind of had this conversation with Dead Fist today a little bit. I kind of think at this point where we are in the cycle of development for video games, maybe remakes need their own category.
I don't disagree.
Because, like, I understand wanting to remake games, especially with how far technology's come in the gaming space.
Yeah.
But, like, we're taking up valuable spots in a Game of the Year nomination.
Yeah.
And Resident Evil 4 is good. I played the demo. It's Resident Evil.
Yeah.
It's more Resident Evil. There's a way better Resident Evil game out right now. It's called Alan Wake 2. And it did get nominated.
Ooh, I like that game.
So
honestly, I knew it was going to be between Alan Wake, Baldur's Gate, and Zelda.
Yeah.
And anything else was
It's
honestly
pretty
just
much-
kind of lucky to be there.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. And I think Baldur's Gate will win this one. But
Baldur's Gate, sweet.
it's really cool that Alan Wake is there.
Yeah.
Especially because it just came out.
Yeah.
Jumping through a couple other categories, I always like to look at game direction.
Yeah.
I think game direction is probably where Alan Wake will win.
That's what I voted for.
Sam Lake, Jeff Keighley guy. They love him. Everybody knows who he is. He's similar to Neil Druckmann.
Mm-hmm.
Like, everybody knows him.
Yeah.
He stars in the game, which is kind of fun. So I think that's where Alan Wake will get its win. But in that category, it's Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Spider-Man 2, Mario Bros., and Legend of Zelda.
Was it the exact same except no Resident Evil?
Correct. Other fun ones, you have Best Narrative. Baldur's Gate, Alan Wake are there. Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty's there, which I thought was
That's
really
super
neat.
cool.
Final Fantasy 16 was there, which is cool. And then Spider-Man 2 being there was kind of kind of weird. Art direction, another really fun category.
Hi-Fi Rush, let's go!
Hi-Fi Rush is in there. Lies of P is in there. And then Alan Wake, Mario, and Zelda. Is there best score music's always there? You know, the category I think that was really cool. They added it last year as best adaptation.
Mm-hmm.
I think everybody knows what will win this, but for the sake of who's nominated, you got Castlevania Nocturne, Gran Turismo, The Last of Us, the Super Mario Bros. Movie, and Twisted Metal.
Yeah.
This is a Last of Us or Mario category, and nothing else has a chance,
nope.
and I don't think anything's beating The Last of Us. So,
I mean, Last of Us was nominated for Best Dramatic Series at the Emmys.
Yeah. Like, there's no chance.
And Mario was, 50% Rotten Tomatoes?
Hey, but it made over $1 billion.
Yeah, it made $1 billion.
Who? I need a list of the people that, because these are like reviewing pundit people that put in these noms, right?
Yeah, there's like skill ups on there.
Yeah.
There's like a panel. You can go on their website and see it.
Twisted Metal's gonna win it, bro.
That'd be pretty cool.
Out of nowhere.
I think this is always a fun category, and I just, I wanted to get your guys' feelings on this. Most anticipated game, you had Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Hades 2, Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, Star Wars Outlaws, and Tekken 8.
I voted for Hades 2 just because I knew you were excited for
it. Cool. I think a pretty cool field of games.
That is.
There's some variety there. And I think that's awesome. You have a fighter. Bro, where's Elder Scrolls? You have an RPG. No. You have a roguelite. You have whatever Like a Dragon games are at this point. I don't even know.
I'm a little surprised that GTA 6 isn't on there.
Right, because it hasn't been officially announced yet.
If it was, it'd win. Could also be Keighley not putting it on there for that reason.
What was the game that was on there like for 8 years straight, though? Elden Ring. It was on there every year.
Maybe they learned a lesson with Elden Ring.
Like, we can't do this every year?
Yeah.
And then I know there's the one that Luke had mentioned today, that Destiny was nominated for a Best Community Support.
Everybody, go vote for Destiny 2.
Yeah. And
not just because, like, it's the most ironic thing, but because they're actually a great community managers at Bungie, and they got laid off. Yeah. And I just think it'd be the best thing if we could stick it to the Bungie upper management and be like, you let the wrong people go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's disappointing that everybody there got laid off, and then DMG had some tweets about kind of
they were all going off.
The 2019 scenario where they won Best Community Support, but none of the team was allowed to be there, and they got mad at them for, I guess, celebrating the win and that within Bungie.
So weird.
Just, it seems like there is a lot of leadership issues at Bungie, and it's all just coming to an ugly head. Last category I mentioned, Best RPG, only because it is the only category that Starfield got a nomination in.
Good job, Starfield.
But it's against Baldur's Gate 3.
It's not winning.
It will not win. But it got nommed for something, so good for it. Liza P had a pretty good showing, too. It's in several categories. I've heard great things. But Alan Wake and Baldur's Gate 3 are the two highest earning, most nommed games.
I think Hi-Fi Rush got like 6.
Yeah, Hi-Fi Rush had quite a bit.
Which makes me super
really
happy.
Cool. Yeah.
Remnant 2 was nominated for Best Action Game.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll win because it's going against Armored Core 6, which is super unfortunate, but awesome game. DLC
there was something
came out, I think.
There was something else in Best Action Game too that I think Remnant 2 would have like
Hi-Fi Rush.
Oh yeah, Hi-Fi Rush is in that category. Yeah.
Here's my take for the Game Awards. Let's get rid of anything that has to do with esports or content creators.
Yeah, and they need to do those in the pre-show thing.
Cares?
Yeah.
Who cares?
I mean, there's people out there that do care.
I was talking to Brett before. Just give esports their own Game Awards.
They should have their own award show. I would agree with that.
Best sim or whatever League of Legends is as a multiplayer thing.
MOBA?
Best MOBA team. Best MOBA single dude or woman or person.
The thing that's weird to me about it is they prove it at competitions.
Yeah.
Best
that's
FPS.
What I was saying too is like, so the guy who won?
Yeah, the guy who won the...
Best esports event. How do you even... I had a lot of fun at the Dota Championships this year. They had great hot dogs. I don't... How do you even
are there that many people going to multiple events?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Like,
it's hard to say,
maybe. I'm not judging if you do. That's awesome. I just feel like kind of like I compared in the pre-show, I compared this kind of category to something like music or concerts, right? Like, I'm not going to a Linkin Park concert and a Taylor Swift concert and a Post Malone country concert, whatever he's doing now, right? And then being like, okay, there probably are people who do that, but I don't know if that's a big enough group to be like, this was the best event. This was the best esports event. Esports is maybe a little more niche than music, I understand. So that may be easier. At the end of the day, I think it's a silly category.
Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6 categories.
Over in the chat, JT says, in terms of a snub, he thinks that Dead Space remake got snubbed. It's
only reviewed really
one
well.
Category and the sound design, which it's great, but it was not that big.
That was a big deal about the OG. Oh, yeah. So it's like the same praise it got when it originally came out.
Sure.
Dude, Alan Wake 2 sound design though.
Dude, this
so good.
Literally ripping me to shreds in fear.
You playing it with headphones yet?
No. No way.
Dude, when you're walking by Coffee World and you're like walking down that trail that you have to go through and the little dude's up on the cliff and like you're hearing all the rocks and stuff getting thrown. Dude, I was like,
dude, it's torture.
I was like, what is happening? And then they start moving real fast.
Or like, just when you're in the when you're in the dark place and it's just Wake.
Yeah.
You're just like, don't do that.
Dude, I hate that I can never tell which ones are actually bad guys and which ones
or when you have a dude scream, the oldest house is missing. Just like, what did you say?
I always think of the Raptors. Alan Wake.
Hey, Alan.
Alan, wake up, Alan. Every time. It makes me... It brings me peace in those moments.
Wake.
Tyler, was there anything else in the Game Awards you want to mention before we move on?
No, I think it's a good field of games. It's a great year for gaming, and I didn't get to play any of the indie noms this year. Usually I've played a couple of the indie noms, but, you know, second kid. Life's kind of busy, so I haven't really had that chance.
For
but
you.
These just sound like
that's fair.
Excuses. That's all I hear.
But no, I do always love to play the indie games. So hopefully we'll see. I'm going to try to get to maybe one of them before the Game Awards. But my hope is to beat Alan Wake because then I will have played 1, 2, 3 of the finalists
for the game.
Potentially 4 if I can get to Baldur's Gate soon.
Oh my gosh.
Obviously I won't be able to beat them all, but
it's insane, Tyler.
I don't think all have beaten Baldur's Gate by the time Game Awards are actually done.
I don't think all have beaten Control by the time the Game Awards are done.
That's why I have it as a prediction. You know what? Screw it. I'm gonna give myself a point for that.
No,
I don't care if it was a joke backup. I was so certain of that. I have 0 points. Tyler has 9, maybe.
I have a lot.
8. I don't
Tyler's
know.
got 15 somehow.
I have a lot.
We made 10 prediction. He's got 15 points.
1,
Me
2,
and you could team up and
3,
we'd still get beat by Tyler like 3 times.
4, 5, 6, 7. I have 8 points.
Ridiculous.
Well, all right. We're gonna move on to some news.
Yeah.
And wrap up our show probably with that.
Yeah, we can.
I may talk about some other things that I did next week. But real quick, Warner Brothers and Zaslav tried to shelve Coyote vs. Acme, which is the John Cena kind of spiritual successor to, or spiritual sequel to Who Framed Roger Rabbit. It's a animation, live action mixed together. It was done a year ago, and they were going to shelve it for a $30 million tax write-off, and thank God the creatives in Hollywood were just said, no, you can't do that.
I've got a little theory about this.
Mm-hmm.
So he might have been a co-writer, but he's definitely a producer.
Mm-hmm.
Is James Gunn.
Mm-hmm.
I think he had big issue with this and went and was just... This is my theory. I think he said, absolutely not.
I think he had to, because he's trying to build a DC film universe, and he needs creators.
He needs talent.
And if Warner Brothers feels like they're going to do this to people, like you saw the report today that a lot of creatives were like, cancel my meetings, I'm not meeting with Warner. I think Gunn was like, we can't have that.
Yeah.
Like, we're trying to build something to rival the MCU. And if we can't get access to creators, we have to have these people.
Also, we have potentially the greatest opportunity as movie fans to do the funniest thing ever. When whoever buys this, and they release it in theaters, please. We're putting this thing above $1 billion, everybody. We're putting this thing above $1 billion. And Zavslav's going to be sitting in his office in the corner. He's just going to be like this.
Luke's now in the corner with his head against the wall, crying. Yep. Look, I think
it's shame corner.
It's just incredibly bad business to... This is Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
This is Warner Brother classic kids animation foundation level shit.
It's like one of their cornerstones.
This is not something you just throw to someone else.
For how long was this their logo?
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. And the just
remember when
blatant disregard.
Bugs Bunny would come out with a carrot and lean.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
What's up, Doc?
I think
not anymore. No more, Doc.
Look, the 10 people who listen. Okay, we have slightly more than 10 viewers, watchers, listeners. Look,
we got more than 10.
We have more than 10.
Thanks, Mom.
I just think this is we're I don't know how to say this nicely.
This is the dumbest thing to possibly...
Warner Brothers is a publicly traded company.
I know, I own stock. Their stock plummets every time something like this happens.
You should buy it.
How the hell is he still CEO?
I have no idea.
There needs to be a change in leadership.
Yep.
And look, the people who make that decision are the stockholders. And that is normal everyday people, right? Like there's a lot of hedge funds and whatever, like who are going to look at that. But like public perception, social media pressure worked to get this film back on, at least onto a plate that they can sell it. I don't know why they're not putting out there themselves, but they're going to sell it to someone, Apple or Paramount or whoever is going to buy it. Look, it just does not make sense to me to run this business this way. This is the business of making movies, not creating them and shelving them. So if you don't want to see a treasured 100-year-old studio go down the toilet, get him the hell out of there and
that's why
put someone in charge. If he wasn't in charge of the next 10 years of DC, I'd be like, Gunn is perfect for that next... probably not, but like... But he is someone who he loves movies, he knows creatives, he knows how to get creatives. He's not your pencil pusher.
Yeah.
Well, two things. First, it's like I said it as a joke, but it's 100% true. All these Zaslav decisions just feel like a necessary evil to see him get out of there.
Yeah.
Like I said it as a joke, but it's true. Like he's got to go, and maybe this will be the thing that gets him out of there.
Maybe.
The other thing is
fingers crossed.
I think people have kind of forgotten that WB has been bought and sold twice in like the past 4 years.
Yeah.
And they have an incredible amount of debt because of that.
Yeah.
And they're looking for every opportunity to just kind of get out of a little bit of it.
Yeah.
I mean, $30 million, though, that's like 0.0001% of $78 billion of debt. I might have even gone too high on that percentage. Probably even a fraction of that. And I think people have forgotten that, and they've just been like, oh, they just hate creatives. And it's like, no, they're actually just really bad at doing business.
Yeah. And I think that's why, like, there's rumors, and I think they're, as each day moves forward, I think it's closer and closer to reality of Universal's trying to buy Warner Brothers because of how bad they're struggling.
I think that was one of my predictions.
Like there's a lot of discussion about it. I wouldn't be shocked if within the next 5 years it happens.
I would be more
If they can't figure this
surprised if Warner just starts selling properties. Be like, you know what? We're done with Harry Potter. It's made us a lot of money, but we're just gonna sell it off for $20 billion.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would help their debt problem for sure. But yeah, I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me, man. Nothing surprised me anymore in that
not
world.
In acquisitions.
Yeah, not in acquisitions.
Not after the Activision one.
Yeah.
Microsoft's gonna buy them.
And I mean, there's just been so many.
Microsoft's gonna buy Warner Bros.
I may have predictions, but I'm gonna save them so you don't steal them.
And they're gonna change all 20 of their future Live Service games to make 40 Live Service games.
That's right.
This is the
my goodness. Okay. Another couple quick things from me. The Abyss 4K remaster is coming to theaters December 6th. If you haven't seen The Abyss, it's one of James Cameron's great hits. Not one of his more popular films, but I think it's one of his better films. Not as much of a popcorn crowd pleaser action thing, but a more introspective and yet incredibly intriguing film. I don't know if many people will go out to the theater to see it, but if you're a collector of kind of classic movies, that 4K restoration is coming out later this year. Additionally, Kevin Feige's Star Wars movie isn't happening. I don't know if this was known or not, but it was more or less confirmed. Yeah, he was in an interview with someone, and they're like, "Hey, is that what is this moving forward?" And he said no.
He was like, "I've got to prevent the MCU from crashing and burning. I've got to worry about other things."
Yeah, right. He does have a lot on his plate. And then my last news story are after the strike was kind of the over that announcement. A couple of studios announced moving release dates for films. So Deadpool 3 is now going to be July 26th of 2024. Venom 3 November 8, 2024. The Lion King prequel by Barry Jenkins December 20, 2024. Captain America New World Order February 14th, 2025.
Just Cyber Valentine's Day.
Yeah, it is. Thunderbolts July 25th, 2025, and Blade November 7th, 2025. So only one MCU movie next year.
Yeah!
It's Deadpool.
And it's Deadpool.
67 cameos. Don't you worry. We'll know what they're all doing.
But we'll also have Venom that year. So,
Venom.
Who really wins?
Which are we?
Morbius
we're more excited for Deadpool, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of like that. You mentioned the car crashing earlier.
Yeah.
I'm kind of interested in watching the Venom 3 car crash.
All right, I have one news story.
Yeah.
I hate this story. I hate it. And it makes me mad.
Yeah, I forgot about this.
It was announced by Nintendo and Sony that we are getting a live-action Legend of Zelda movie. Co-funded by both of them. Directed by Wes Ball, who has Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes coming out. And it is produced by Miyamoto at Nintendo. And Avi Arad. Which is just the biggest red flag. You like Venom?
No.
Do you like Venom 2?
No.
Do you like Morbius?
Yeah. Wow. Just kidding. No.
I guess he also produced the Spider-Verse movies. So he has that. He does everything like Spider-Man.
Sure. He's kind of their one of their Spider-Man.
Does that mean Link's going to show up in the next Spider-Verse movie?
No, it means Tom Holland is going to be Link.
Oh, God.
That's probably actually
Tell me I'm
wrong.
Likely. Tell me I'm wrong. In 3 months, when it is announced that Tom Holland has been cast as Link, and the internet freaks out, rightfully so.
Freaks out which way? I feel like the internet will be very happy about this.
The memes will go crazy. That's all I know.
They definitely will.
But it's going to be really bad, and according to some people, really good because some people love Tom Holland. But
yeah.
he's a great kid, great actor. But I hate this. This should not be a live action movie. I hate that the lesson they learned with Mario was we should make a live action Legend of Zelda movie.
How is that a lesson they learned?
How do you not go, wow, this animated movie we made
made $1
billion. Let's do something completely different. Like, oh my gosh. And, like, don't even get me started. It should be an anime. Like, I know I say that. I feel like I say that every week. But Legend of Zelda, it's perfect for anime. It's got weird magic. It's got swords, fast action.
Who's your cast for a live action Legend of Zelda?
I have no idea. It's impossible. I honestly, that is an honest answer. I think it is impossible. Chris Pratt.
Emily Blunt.
No, I do not want her near this.
It's the one movie you wouldn't cast her in.
Like Link.
Zelda is where the line is drawn for Emily Blunt. Just so we know.
Link is a kid. Normally, and like it's just in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom where he's like, I think they say he's 18 to 20.
Yeah.
And you know for a fact it's gonna be based on those.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Here's my pitch.
For an actor?
Yeah, for an actor.
I'm gonna say Jacob Tremblay before you say it.
It's better than mine.
Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah, Timothy Chalamet would be my like. I don't know who you like.
It's impossible.
He could. I think he's the one who could do it. Right? Like Link is an empty vessel at the end of the day. I don't know how you cast for an empty. We got that. We had the same problem with Master Chief. Like, sorry, Link does not have emotions.
Well,
you have to find someone who you can.
You have to project them onto
him, right? And so I think you have to have a high enough caliber actor to do that, or you make him a weird little Jacob Tremblay boy, right? Like what? Like that's fine. That could work. But I don't know who you. I'm sure Zelda would probably be pretty easy to cast at the like. If I had a list of actresses.
Well, Zelda's gonna go missing halfway through the movie, so.
I just think it would work. I think Tremblay, he's young, and I think it would work.
If you're going for the youngerish look, no.
It doesn't mean I want the movie to happen, but
I absolutely don't want this to happen, and I want it to get canceled.
Look, these days,
or maybe even just they'd be like, you know what? Actually, this might work better as an animated movie, and I'll be like, wow, they did the right thing. Hollywood did the right thing.
Now they'll make it. They'll make it and write it off.
Absolutely.
Well, it's not a WB movie. Sony releases their movies. They don't care how bad it is.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
that's an excellent point.
Goodness.
Jared Leto as Ganondorf. Just broke Luke.
Oh no.
I legit might not go see this movie. Like, unless it comes out and it's like got just great reviews and people are like, they pulled this off. This is awesome.
Yeah.
But if it's even like at like 50%, I might not go see it. I don't think I'll be able to take it.
A lot of it will come down to, man. I mean, look, movies come down to so many different things. But if the writer and director understand the source material,
Miyamoto is there.
I have
a little faith with that.
Yeah. But if they kind of understand, here's what the core of The Legend of Zelda is and what it means. Look, it's not that hard. They've been doing the same thing for 20 years. It's a retelling of the exact same story every time. No, not quite the same, Luke. Don't shake your head at me like that.
It's just really interesting because like I was watching people on Twitch when like this was announced and they were talking about it, and they're like, what story do you adapt? And they're like, Ocarina of Time? Oh, I don't know, could you do that? And it's like, do you do Wind Waker? Like, that was so good. It's like, it's gonna be a 2-hour movie. It's gonna be Princess is stolen, need to get a sword, kill bad guy. That's gonna be the movie.
Yeah.
I've seen that movie, I think, like 80 times. You know what? They're all animated. I hate this.
Oh, Luke hates this, and I'm sorry. Well, we'll move on so you can end your suffering. Tyler, did you have any news stories?
Nope.
Okay. Well, real quick in the chat before we wrap up, Baroque and Roller asks, are we taking bets on the next James Cameron movie to come back to theaters? Because all James Cameron movies are inevitably going to be re-released in theaters.
What's the next one?
Well, my guess is going to be Terminator next year for its 30th anniversary.
Oh, let's go, baby.
So
that sounds awesome.
That would be mine.
Can he just do Terminator 1 and 2?
Like as a double feature?
He didn't...
Yeah, he did Terminator 2.
Okay, he didn't do Terminator 1. That was Ridley Scott, right? No. Who did Terminator 1?
No, that's... You're thinking of Alien and Aliens.
Oh, that's right. I'm an idiot.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be Terminator.
It's gonna be Terminator.
I want a Terminator double feature in theaters. It'd be so awesome.
That would be awesome. And yeah, throw Terminator 2 in there. Why not?
Dum, 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 dum. And then they can just do it again for Terminator 2's 30th anniversary or whenever that is. Like, they're both back.
6-7 years from now.
Dum, 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 ba-da-da, dum, dum, dum.
Did I do my math wrong? It's the 40th anniversary.
You know, math is
84?
hard.
84 to 24? Yeah.
40.
Math is hard. So
I was like, I was not born before that date.
I'm 40 years old now.
Rounding down.
Yeah, rounding.
Take that 40
right, yeah.
30.
So for the 40th anniversary of Terminator, oh my gosh, that's crazy. That was 4 years ago. Anyways, we will maybe talk more about what we did another day because we're coming up on 2 hours here.
I gotta get home.
And Tyler's gotta get home.
If you want to partake in the conversation next week, I will definitely have Blue Eye Samurai finished.
Yes, and I wanted to review that, but I actually think this is perfect because Luke and I will be able to review it again. Yeah. Or not again. We'll be able to review it together next week.
Is that animated?
Looking forward to that. It is. And it's
awesome.
It's
so cool.
It's amazing. Very adult themed, just so you know.
So I should watch it at work.
Yeah. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Just put it on the in the conference rooms. Put it on.
They're like 30-minute episodes?
No, they're like an hour.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So until next week, thank you all for listening, watching, commenting. We'll see you then.
Goodbye.